Outreach's Magic Pride Festival is back this year for its 7th anniversary. The festival will be held on Sunday, August 17th from 1 to 6 p.m. at Warner Park. The fest will include performances from local artists who identify as LGBTQ+, food and beverage carts, merchant vendors, info booths, family-friendly games, and more. The Magic Pride Festival celebrates the voices of queer and trans BIPOC in the Madison community. Suggested donation to attend is $5 to $10 or a non-perishable food item for Outreach's pantry. Learn more details at outreachmagicfestival.org. Looking to add a little glow to your home? Wisco Home Goods has you covered with hand-poured soy candles crafted in small batches, made to burn clean, and scented to perfection. Stop by their store at 4664 Cottage Grove Road on Madison's beautiful east side, or browse online at wiscohomegoods.com. Shop local, breathe easy, feel good with Wisco Home Goods. This is CityCast Madison. I'm Bianca Martin, and here's what Madison's talking about. It's so close and yet so far away. I'm talking about the forthcoming Madison Public Market. It's been a collective city dream for nearly 2 decades, and we're now closer than ever to seeing this place open. With me today to dig into the details is Keisha Harrison, CEO of the Madison Public Market Foundation. Hi, Keisha.
Hi, Bianca.
Yeah, so I'm excited to talk to you. I've seen your picture and read quotes from you. It's really fun to have you on the show because we are super interested in the public market and what is going down. The last time we did a show specifically focused on the public market was back in 2023, actually, right around when the market hosted a big open house so folks could come in and see the space. At that time, there were still a lot of unknowns, including who would be the CEO and other things in the works. So let's get started just with an update of where we're at when it comes to the facilities. Where does the market stand today?
We are very excited for it as well. So we are still in phase 1 of construction, which the city of Madison is overseeing right now with Daniels Construction, but they are almost done with the punch list. So once they are completed with that, they will turn that over to the foundation so that we can begin tenant build outs and open early next year.
Can you expand on that a little bit, like what that means that they're waiting on?
So this project has been completed in phases. Phase 1 is the initial construction, which is renovation of the old Fleet Services building. So rather than build a new facility, we chose to renovate the facility that was already there. Has very good bones, and if we tried to replicate that now, this project would have been exponentially more expensive than what it is. So we built in some sustainability features with water and electricity, and we'll be doing composting and all of that kind of stuff. So phase 1 is getting the building ready to turn over to us so that then we can begin phase 2, which is tenant build out, which is then bringing the character and vibrancy into the market house.
Okay. Yeah, that's very, very useful context. And for even more context, this building, it's on East Johnson, like right by First Street.
Yes.
In kind of a happening area. Well, so the story in the past couple of years, there have been a series of delays on the project related to funding and construction. Last month, another delay was announced. So where did that recent slowdown come from? Like, what was going on there, and when is the new anticipated opening date?
As I've said, we've been working very closely with the city of Madison on phase 1 construction. And so as there have been construction issues that have arisen, we do have to defer to the city's engineering department to answer those particular questions. One particular aspect of it early on had to do with an electric switch component that was delayed worldwide due to other supply chain issues. And so that's where an initial delay came from. And then any remaining delays right now related to construction, as I've said, we'd have to refer that to the city to fully explain it. And I don't want to do it injustice with my non-construction background trying to say it all. But yeah, so it's just related to making sure that they finish up the punch list and that the building is ready to receive us in the best possible condition to make sure that we are ready to go with our tenant build out. So just because it has taken a little bit longer than anticipated, we initially moved it from July to November, thinking that that would be enough time, but apparently it's not. So we wanted to make sure that we did not shortchange the build out in any way, shape, or form, because once we open, this has to be a magnificent project worthy of all of the time that everyone has waited.
I think most people know that construction works on its own timeline and you can make projections. But that said, were you at all surprised when you had to push the date further? And is this delay costing more money?
So I've been involved with another larger construction project in a different location, and with that knowledge and comparison, this has been fine. I know it's not fine for everyone here, of course, but delays are just an inevitable part of construction at times, unfortunately. And so, again, we want to make sure that as the stewards of the market and all that it will have to offer, that we are doing right by it. And so making sure that the city has enough time to do what it has to do to finish up its portion of it is just tantamount to making sure that when we do open, it is everything that everyone has expected. And we did do fundraising for this project on our own, in addition to any of the city monies, but we are still in a good position where we're not strapped for cash or anything like that in order to make sure that we do this right and get it open.
Well, so we got the update. There's definitely news. So we had to touch on that and just kind of find out where everything is at. But I want to give you the opportunity for folks who are new to town or just unfamiliar with the project. Can you remind us what exactly is the Madison Public Market? What's the plan for it? And what will it house?
So, public markets are a function for the public good where it brings together a lot of different types of businesses under one roof. And there can be different missions and visions and things like that that other public markets have. But here at the Madison Public Market, our focus is on equity through entrepreneurship. Madison has a very, very robust foodie culture.
We love that about Madison. We do a food show every Thursday.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So with that said, the food culture here is very expansive. And this public market will give people, local and visitors, that opportunity to experience all that Madison has to offer under one roof. We are planning to be a place where, hey, this is the only place where you can get this type of thing. We're not focusing on franchises or chains or anything like that. This is all going to be local Madison, as much as we can make that part of it happen, because there's a lot that Madison has to offer. There's a lot that people don't know about. And so we're hoping that we're bringing that to the masses so that they can experience it. And when they leave the place, they can say, yeah, this is Madison. This is what Madison represents. This is what Madison is. This is what it's about. So it's not just through the food, but it's food. It is other types of retail. People will be able to showcase their creativity through and through. And with equity through entrepreneurship, it really means that when you have this type of a business venture, where especially this is in terms of the build out, these are first generation business build outs of the real estate. So there's going to be more money and effort that has to be put into that because, yeah, we need some walls, we need some sinks, we need some floors, all of that kind of stuff. So we are there to help businesses with that. The business owners still have to come and bring what they can. But for those who are qualified and who just need that extra push to be able to get into the door and open up their first brick and mortar, that's where we come in with our tenant improvement allowance. And again, this is helping us to promote equity through entrepreneurship.
It's huge getting a space. The overhead in Madison, I guess, in most places is just a significant barrier for new businesses. So it's very exciting. And we've been talking a lot about Taste of Madison. And now as someone coming to Madison, they want to know, what's your food scene like? And all of us can go to the public market when the public market opens.
Yes.
We could have that and really have a variety of our different foods in one place that's showcased. And I hadn't really thought about it that way. And that's exciting.
Yes, absolutely. And again, it's not just food. I mean, food is a primary feature of the public market, but if you look at public markets around the world, they have a lot of different products, a variety of offerings that they have. So it's the food and it's all of the other value added items that you think about in everyday life.
For sure. I'm gonna want salt, bath salts from somebody. I'm gonna want little things to buy from vendors for sure. What kind of economic impact do you project the market to have on Madison?
Well, we did do some studies early on, and I don't have the numbers to quote right off the top of my head right here, but the impact is significant enough that the project has moved forward. We do expect somewhere between $7 to $10 million in sales from the market as a collective, not just one business, but the market as a collective. So I would say that that's a pretty good and significant impact, especially where it is located in the city. And its impact will be far reaching because we are very accessible. So,
Yeah, it's in a very accessible location, almost as accessible as they get.
yes, you can drive there. We have parking. You can get on the BRT. There's a stop at First and East Wash. You can bike there. Heck, you can even kayak there. So,
You can even kayak. That's huge.
right.
Challenge accepted. So are you saying that will there be bike racks?
Yes.
Yes, yes. Do you know
Yes.
any B-cycle plans? Because I know that's very popular in Madison.
Yes, we have spoken about that. So we would have to just finalize some plans with them. But that was built in. EV charging is also something that we are looking at for the facility as well.
And I imagine, there's a lot of different inputs, and I've seen different projections online. WKOW reported that y'all were expected to generate around 16 million in local sales annually. So about in that range. Can you help break it down for us? Like, where is that money going to go? Will the city reap any reward from that revenue? How will that work?
Well, people who are visiting the city and supporting the market are in some measure supporting the city because we don't expect for people to just come to the market. I mean, we would love that, that we are, hey, I have to go to Madison for the market and that's the only thing. But inevitably, there are other aspects of city life and city services and things like that people would touch upon. So indirectly, the city does benefit from that particular goodwill and publicity. And so you think about conferences and conventions that come to the city and they need an outlet. So, hey, go to the market and see what they have to offer. And the conference and convention partners can also partner with us and host events there as well. In our lease, as we are working through that, the city will charge us rent. And so they will reap some of that benefit as well. And then all of the other monies beyond what the merchants will pay to us in rent and other fees, then that helps them to build their business. And hopefully, in some part, we do want some of the businesses to outgrow the market and go establish locations in other places as well. And so that's a benefit to the city as well, that you have more retail and food establishments located in various parts of the city, and they already have a following.
And so the rest, I would assume, kind of goes back to the Madison Public Market Foundation, who's putting on the whole thing.
Yes, I mean, by and large, we are there to support the businesses open and help them to become profitable. So merchants will be keeping what they make by and large.
Mm-hmm.
And so then that helps their business, that helps them to grow generational wealth from there, that helps them to then branch out into other parts of the city, as I say, to help the city become a vibrant landscape as well.
Yeah. And as just another little note of context, I understand the Madison Public Market Foundation formed as a nonprofit back in 2017 to help coalesce around what needed to be done to make this market a reality, fundraising, community engagement. And you said kind of the role that you will have moving forward as the market opens. Looking for a fun, family-friendly event that truly makes a difference? Join the 18th annual Gilda's Run Walk on Sunday, October 5th at Gilda's Club in Middleton. Whether you choose the self-timed 5K run or the 2-mile walk, there's something for everyone, including when you cross the finish line, a picnic with Ruth's Chris Burgers, chocolate shop ice cream, and activities for all ages. Need a little help getting started? Their free Couch to 5K program offers expert guidance to keep you motivated every step of the way. Register by August 31st for early bird pricing, just $35 for adults and $25 for kids. And get your official event t-shirt. Want to make an even bigger impact? Form a team and fundraise to help keep Gilda's Club program free and accessible for those affected by cancer. Every dollar raised stays right here in Wisconsin, supporting local families. This event is presented by Exact Sciences, Levy Giving Fund, Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, and WKOW. Sign up today at gildasrunwalk.com, and together, let's make every step count.
Got any fun trips coming up? One thing you probably haven't put on your packing list is learning the language. But with Babbel, you can start talking in just a few weeks. I'm David Plotz, the CEO of CityCast, and I've been learning Spanish with Babbel. And I also just persuaded my friend who's going to France this fall to learn French with Babbel, but that is another story. Babbel's extremely fun and intuitive. It's like having a private tutor in your pocket. Handcrafted by over 200 language experts, Babbel's lessons are voiced by real native speakers and built with science-backed cognitive tools and interactive features to fit any learning style. I love a lot of the different Babbel features. The Babbel games for sentence building, Babbel speech recognition, which helps me get the pronunciation right. And now I'm really into Babbel's word of the day, which greets me on the homepage of the app. Every day, a new word revealed like a little surprise with a sentence to help contextualize it. It's like a daily treat for me. Studies from Yale, Michigan State, and other leading universities continue to prove that Babbel works. One study found that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a full semester at college. Look, I want you to learn another language. So I'm teaming up with Babbel to gift you 55% off subscriptions, but only for CityCast listeners at babbel.com/CityCast. Get up to 55% off at babbel.com/CityCast. Spelled BABBEL.com/CityCast. Babbel.com/CityCast. Rules and restrictions may apply.
We talked about people getting in there. The market is designed to hold over 100 businesses. Have any tenants been finalized yet? Who can we expect to see?
So we're working on a little bit of a technicality right now, just because we have to sign our final lease with the city, and we can't yet sign the formal lease with our merchants. The city owns the building and they are the landlord. The foundation is the sub-landlord and operator, and we are also then a tenant of the city. And then all of the merchants who will be in the space are the foundation's tenants and then subtenants. So that's the relationship that we have right there. So when we become the official sub-landlord after we've signed our lease, then we will have the tenants that we can announce. And that's when we will announce them, is when we've signed formal leases. And we've got 4 participants from the Market Ready program that was held a few years ago: Melly Mel's Catering, El Sabor de Puebla, Little Tibet, and Caracas Empanadas y Más. They were chosen to be the first 4 businesses in the market, so that is why we are announcing them absent of formal lease. We have started signing letters of intent with additional businesses, and so then once we get to the formal lease signing is when we will announce them publicly.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yes.
It's very exciting. And the names that you mentioned are, heavy hitters in so many ways. That's really, really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
In the sense that it is still kind of in motion. Are y'all still vetting people to join this space? Like, can locals still throw their hat into the ring, I guess, or like try their hand at being one of the businesses that get this opportunity?
So a couple different things here. We have more than one way for businesses to participate. And so when we say we'll be supporting over 100 businesses, it's not just through the leasing of a permanent space. So we have those spaces. We will have kiosks that people can use for intermittent selling, such as, hey, I want to try my hand evenings, or I want to do it on Saturdays, or I want to try it for a month. So we'll have a variety of leasing options in that way for business owners to try their hand at it. And then through all of the events that we will be having where businesses can pop up. So, if we do a pop-up theme weekend around something, then that gives that opportunity for businesses to come in and participate in that particular event. So that is how we will be supporting multiple businesses throughout the market and the market experience.
Well, Keisha, you're no stranger to public markets. Before becoming the CEO of the Madison Public Market, you were the executive director of the Indianapolis City Market. So I'd love your take. What purpose do public markets serve in their unique communities?
Well, especially in the case of Indianapolis City Market, it was platted as the city was platted. So where it stood was always its purpose. And that's kind of what you'll find in locations around the world, is that their public market has been there since the beginning. And they were envisioned as places that would, as you say, nourish the community and help with economic growth and development of the businesses and of the locations where they are. So to have that particular purpose from the beginning, I think has been at the heart of a lot of public markets that people are familiar with, and that Madison is now getting its own. No, it wasn't here from the beginning, but we're here now. And we should be a part of the fabric of the city from here on out.
That really gives context to why this has been a push by city leaders for decades, because so many cities do have them. Talking about the status and where the construction is at, I imagine it's fair to say that we're past the point of no return when it comes to this market opening. It's been a couple decades, but it's happening, right?
Yes, yeah. Absolutely.
So it's very close to completion. And with that, the opening in the market itself has a storied reputation at this point, right? With the decades, it's been vocally lauded and criticized by many in the community. Some naysayers today complain about the ever-increasing cost of the market. We're talking about the continuous delays. What would your response be to those kinds of critics who say, the city should have spent their money elsewhere? Like this isn't the thing.
Well, given the point in time when I joined the project and the point in time where we are now, those are not things that we need to continue considering, because we're here now and the project is here and the market will open. And so we can always look back and say coulda, shoulda, woulda, on something that happened in the past, but we're not going to dwell there because we're not there anymore. The money has been spent. And we are here now, and the market is going to open, and we welcome them with open arms.
Yeah. I read the market costs roughly $24 million. Does that sound right?
It does, between 20 and 24, yeah.
And City Council agreed to spend an additional $1.64 million on the market to help close the funding gap, because there's a moment like, is this going to happen? We need the sufficient money. The money has been allocated. So we talked about lots of things, but if you were to try and sum it up, like, what does success look like for the market?
Success looks like people enjoying themselves and seeing themselves reflected, not just in the food and the retail and the businesses, but we've worked very closely with the Madison Arts Commission, and we will have a really fantastic public art display. And it's not just one piece. It's not just in one location. It is throughout the entire market, inside and out. So that part of becoming part of the community, people, like I say, being able to come to the market, you can see yourself reflected in the food and goods that you can purchase. You can see yourself reflected in the art. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better than that, than to go to a place and know that you are welcomed. So for me, the feel-goodiness of it, that's what success looks like, is that people want to come here. They want to come to this space. They want to sit. They want to enjoy everything that they are taking in, and for them to feel like, what took us so long? Why didn't we already have this? Because, you go and you're just accepted. That's what success looks like.
And I think it's particularly exciting because of how ever evolving the city of Madison is. It's growing, our population is growing rapidly, and sort of the character of the city, like who we are, those are the sorts of conversations that we try to have on CityCast Madison and try to make sense of the history, but also where we want to go. And so this space is at the crux of a lot, actually.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the intersection of what traditional markets offer, plus the public art, plus our sustainability efforts, I think is what sets us apart from any other market out there. I would say we're better than everybody else.
Ooh, I love to hear it. I love to hear it. I was going to say, when I lived in DC for a few years there, I semi-regularly went to their public market, and they had the best salmon sandwich and shrimp and grits. There's two different businesses that kept bringing me back. I remember I went to outdoor movie nights. I watched Top Gun there for the first time. So it was a place to make memories, and it truly had all of these different businesses that you get to know that you might not know otherwise. I do want to ask you, you said that we're going to be the best. We've got the best plan set up. Like, what are you most excited about or looking forward to with the opening to come?
Knowing the amount of effort that went into making this place a reality and seeing people enjoy it. Like, seriously, if we opened and no one came, that's a disappointment. I do not foresee that happening, right? But
I'll be there. I'm going to be there.
Right. But to just see people walking around and taking it all in. And I mean, I did forget to mention that we're also working with the Madison Metropolitan Sewerage District, and they're doing a fantastic art project with our restrooms. And so we have individual restrooms, and every time you come, because you'll come more than once, every time you come to the market, you have to use a different stall to experience a different part of their project.
That's peak.
Yes.
Bathroom decor is like one of my things.
Exactly.
Love to hear this.
Right. And so this is what I'm saying. If people are going to talk about us no matter what, we're giving them something to talk about. Absolutely. We're giving them something to talk about.
Let's give them something to talk about.
Exactly. So there will be no shortage of anything to talk about, all of the stories that will be written and just the conversations that people will have. And, hey, let's go to the market this time so that we can do this. There will be something new for quite some time for people to experience.
And will y'all be able to host like live events, people wanting to have kind of a bigger space? That just occurred to me as someone who thinks about us doing live events.
Absolutely. We have an event space. It is our True Stage Market Ready Hall space, and it is about 8,000 square feet, I think it is. And when we're not using it for events, it will be overflow seating for the market. But we do plan to activate the space heavily, not just from a market administrative point of view, putting on programs, but allowing other people to rent the space for their private events, in addition to making it available for community usage as well.
Keisha, it's so exciting to talk to you and get this insight. We've been wanting to have you on, and we're grateful for you making the time. If folks want to keep up on the market's progress and status, where should they go?
Keep up with our socials and on our website, www.madisonpublicmarket.org. And you can find us generally at Mad Public Market, I believe, on all of our socials. And we are a 501c3. So you can donate to our nonprofit as well and be a part of history.
There you go. Get in. That'd be helpful. Keisha, thank you so much for coming on the show. Really appreciate it.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me, and we look forward to the return when we are approaching opening.
That's Keisha Harrison, CEO of the Madison Public Market Foundation. That's all for today, here on CityCast Madison. I'm Bianca Martin, your host. If you appreciate our work, don't forget you can support the show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Madison neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. And if you enjoyed today's show, why not share this episode with someone who loves the public good? All right, I also have a favor to ask. CityCast is doing our annual listener survey, and it would really help us out if you took it. Please take the survey at citycast.fm/survey. It's only 7 minutes. That's citycast.fm/survey, y'all. Please. Plus, survey takers will also be eligible to win a $250 Visa gift card and CityCast swag, y'all. That's citycast.fm/survey if you didn't hear it the first 2 times. And if you did take it last year, we would be grateful if you took it again, because we can't just use last year's data. We've got a whole new set of data we need, so please take our survey. Okay, I've said it 7 times. I hope it sticks. Take our survey. All right, we'll be back tomorrow morning with more stories from around the city. Until next time, take good care.